Hello everyone, my name is Derek and welcome to the Netflix Knowhow, the review show here to help you stop browsing and start watching. Now I know I've been away for quite a while, but I'm finally back and today I'm bringing you game shows! Well, one of them is a game show, the other is technically more of a competition I guess, but whatever, semantics. Anyway, let's go ahead and kick things off with Ultimate Beastmaster! Ultimate Beastmaster is essentially Netflix's take on the whole Ninja Warrior obstacle course competition thing that's been sweeping the nation the past couple of years. Now I love me some Ninja Warrior, the original Ninja Warrior from Japan because, well, look at it! さあ、脱いだ、おっと、ふんどし一つになってしまいました。さあ、行きます。ダンサー悟空が行きます。ふんどし一丁だ。Ah, those were the days. Too bad America had to come in and America the whole thing up like they always do.
Stage 1 is a true test of agility, and since it isn't a given that anyone will finish the course, it's important not to take any obstacle for granted, especially that obstacle right there, the jumping spider, which took out nearly 58% of the athletes that attempted it last season on American Ninja Warrior.
The big reason that I like the original Ninja Warrior is because it was exciting, it was competitive, but it was also a ton of fun. The competitors did not take themselves too seriously, and the show knew how to have a good time with this whole concept without it coming off as overly serious. American Ninja Warrior is...
I'm just gonna try and not think and just tell myself to keep moving.
Oh my god, shut up and fall in the water already. It's basically just another reality show because everything on American television has to be a reality show nowadays, and how could they screw this up so bad? It's just Ninja Warrior for crying out loud! So American Ninja Warrior is garbage and it sucks and nobody should ever watch it. But Netflix has decided to go ahead and jump on the bandwagon with Ultimate Beastmaster. And I will admit, I was skeptical at first, but hey, you know what? I figured why not give it a shot. So what makes Ultimate Beastmaster different from the rest of them? Well, first and foremost is the course. While it's not technically all that different in terms of the obstacles that competitors have to face, the actual design of the course is... Oh my god, it's an actual beast, that's so freaking cool! Second, the way that competitors progress is not determined by how far they get, but by how many points they are able to accumulate along the way. Each obstacle is worth a certain number of points after you complete it, but there are also a number of special bonus levers and triggers along the way that get you additional points. So you can technically beat another competitor even if you didn't get far enough along the way if you have enough total points to get above them. Third, the show features a very prominent sense of international inclusivity by featuring athletes and competitors from across the globe in every episode. On top of that, every country gets their own unique host specific to that country. So Brazil gets Brazilian hosts, Germany gets Germans, and America gets Terry Crews! Now, does Ultimate Beastmaster succeed where American Ninja Warrior failed for me? Kinda? I definitely think that it's a step up from American Ninja Warrior, but it still suffers from a lot of the same problems, and it doesn't really do anything different enough to make it stand out from the rest of the pack. The one element that I do really want to praise Ultimate Beastmaster for is this celebration of the global community. That is not to say that Ninja Warrior and other competitions in the past have not featured a diverse roster, but with Ultimate Beastmaster, that seems to be one of the building block pillars of the show. I really like that the show pools competitors from all kinds of different backgrounds from all across the globe, and I really appreciated the fact that each country gets their own unique host. Of course, everyone is going to be cheering for their own home country, but there is also a great sense of respect and support for competitors from everywhere. It almost feels like the World Cup of obstacle course competitions, except way less exciting and nowhere near as relevant. I'm not biased towards soccer at all. I also liked that the show does try to mix things up from the standard obstacle course competition. I like that they came up with kind of a unique point system to help score the competitors as they move along the course. I like the big, weird aesthetic design of this course. It's not just something that they randomly threw together, it actually has a physical design and look to it. And I like that the competitors are actually competing against each other and not just against the course. Now on paper, these are all really, really good ideas, but in practice, they just don't really work the way that I think they intended them to. The point system sounds cool until you see that competitor get twice as far into the course as someone else, only to lose to a completely random person because they didn't switch enough arbitrary levers along the way. The course looks awesome until 4 episodes in, you realize that competitors have been running across the same 7 obstacles, with only a handful of them being particularly interesting. Having that personal sense of competition is great until you realize that Germans are cyborgs and this is clearly not going to be a fair fight. Just kidding, Germans aren't cyborgs, they're androids. I think the idea was to try and create a course that lets competitors play to their strengths, and it's a good idea, but unfortunately there's just not enough variety and choice in the course for this to really work effectively. Most of the obstacles and bonus levers clearly favor people who are tall and strong, and even the obstacles and levers that do tend to favor more small and nimble competitors, they're not really that difficult for the bigger competitors to achieve either. This could be attributed to the physical nature of obstacle courses in general, but it always just feels kind of unfair, like the game is unintentionally rigged to favor a certain type of person over another. I don't want to say that Ultimate Beastmaster is outright bad. It's fine, it's a serviceable competition, and if you're into obstacle courses or Ninja Warrior or anything like that, this will probably do the trick for you. Still, if I had to choose between this and the overly dramatized schlock that is American Ninja Warrior, I'm just gonna go watch reruns of the original Japanese version. It's far superior. Thumbs down. Also today we have The Chase, a more traditional trivia game show based on the British game show of the same name, and despite its leading title, you're not going to be seeing any of this. I know, I was disappointed too. The particular gimmick of this trivia game show is that contestants have to face off against a trivia mastermind known simply as the Beast. No, not that beast, this one. I swear I did not lump these two shows together for that reason, that's just kinda how it worked out this time. Contestants start by individually answering questions to build up a pile of cash for themselves, but it's not actually safe until they go in a head-to-head face-off against the Beast where they try and bank the money. The show gets its name because contestants must remain ahead of the Beast in terms of questions answered correctly, and if he ever manages to catch up to you, he swallows up all of your money along with your precious hopes and dreams. It's not quite that depressing, but you get the idea. So how good is the Beast? How much could he possibly know?
I believe her husband was killed in an air crash in the 1990s, and she became the wife of President Nelson Mandela. The Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi, an incredibly rich man, and he used to like having bunga parties with lots of attractive young ladies involved, and I'll say no more than that. It's all based on the accurate study of clocks and watches, which is what horologist is. So my answer is makes clocks, and your history.
Turns out, a lot. And even the stuff that he doesn't know off the top of his head, he is almost always able to reason his way into picking through sheer logical willpower. Now I know what you're thinking. Derek, this doesn't sound like a fair fight at all. And you know what? You're right, you are absolutely right, this is nowhere close to a fair fight one bit. And I actually kind of like that. It makes it feel like there's a real sense of stakes on the line because nothing is guaranteed and contestants really have to work their butts off if they are going to earn that money. I imagine this was a pretty safe financial bet for the studio because even contestants who put on an extraordinarily good showing against the Beast have a very good likelihood of getting caught by him in the end. I do have to say, it can be kind of frustrating after a while to see the Beast continually win over and over and over again, but I mean, that is the point of the show. That's kind of his job. Still, it does make the few times when the Beast is given a real run for his money just that much more exciting. I really like how varied all of the different questions are, and they range in everything from ancient Greek architecture and Latin history to simple linguistics and modern pop culture. I am definitely the kind of person that will try and answer along the way as I watch, and so I really appreciate when a trivia show includes questions that are able to be answered from all different kinds of people in all walks of life. It can actually be really fun to see what you know personally versus what the contestants know, and there are definitely going to be those moments when you want to throw a chair at the TV because seriously, how can this idiot not know the answer to this question?
If Rahul had heard of What Does the Fox Say, this would be a whole different game.
Right?
There is a lot of friendly trash talk that goes on between the contestants and the Beast, and most of the time it's fairly harmless and pretty entertaining, but occasionally it can sort of dip into that mean-spirited territory, especially when it comes from the Beast. This may very well be a result of the way that the show is edited, and I get it because it does sort of raise the level of competitiveness going on between the competitors and the Beast, but it can be kind of grating and irritating, especially if you don't have the stomach for that sort of shallow chest thumping. The most exciting part about the show is the final chase, where big ol' Beastie gets one final chance to run down the remaining contestants and swallow all of them whole. Not literally, I don't think the studio or the contestants would be very keen on that idea. The contestants who manage to elude the Beast's grasps are then given 2 minutes to work together as a team and answer as many questions as they possibly can before handing things over to the Beast. If they manage to correctly answer more questions than the Beast in those 2 minutes, they win. Sounds simple, right? Oh, children.
Whose films were banned in Monaco after she wed Prince Rainier?
Princess Grace Kelly.
Correct. In 1872, Jacob Davis teamed with what German immigrant to produce his riveted jeans?
Levi Strauss.
Correct. If you stood on each of the planets, on which one would you weigh the most?
Jupiter.
Correct. Which bodily organ contains pleural fluid?
Lungs.
Correct. What vegetable gives borscht soup its reddish color?
Beetroot.
Correct. What Yankee slugger spent 274 days married to Marilyn Monroe?
Joe DiMaggio.
Correct.
Again, not a fair fight, but it can be pretty exciting and fun to watch. The biggest weakness that the show has is it's predictable. I mean, like Uncle Bob ordering his favorite Sunday breakfast at Waffle House for the past 40 years predictable. I know it's a game show and they all have a structure and they have to stick to their structure, but there are moments when this show can kind of start to feel like a game show themed version of Groundhog Day. The show does try and offer some avenues to provide variety, but they're so trivial and inevitably contestants almost always behave exactly the same every single time. It's definitely not a binging show, but I think it's fine to put on during dinner or as random background noise while you work on something else. At its core, The Chase is a very straightforward trivia-based game show, so if you're not into that kind of thing, this is definitely not going to be changing your mind anytime soon. But if you are like me and you occasionally find yourself shouting questions at the television screen while an episode of Jeopardy is on, you might just get a kick out of this. It's just a shame they couldn't find a way to make him actually physically chase them. Thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Again, I know it's been a while, but I am finally back and I'm gonna be bringing you all the Netflix review goodies, so be sure to tune in. You can always head over to Facebook and over to Twitter if you wanna follow me on there. And as always, if you wanna know your flicks, you know where to click. Happy hunting, guys. See you next time.